Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
I have a little bit weird question about my family.
A weird question.
Yeah.
How exciting. Yes?
Okay.
What is your weird question?
I don't see my father for 14 years.
What
and,
location is your father on the planet?
Japan.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Why have you not seen him for 14 years?
We just stopped talking and
You stopped talking.
yeah, I stopped talking
All right.
because he stopped talking too.
You stopped talking because he stopped talking, or he stopped talking and then you stopped talking?
I don't know.
Which is it? Or you both stopped talking simultaneously? You got together and talked about stopping talking? Which is it?
I forget.
It's
that.
all right.
Okay.
I'm just playing with you. The real question is why, not when.
Why?
Yes, why did you stop talking?
Like whenever he like I get him so upset so easy.
No, he chooses to be upset.
Right.
You have no power to upset him that he doesn't agree to abide by. So why does he choose to be upset? And what is he upset about?
About very small things.
Such as?
Such as like.
You understand that when people get upset about small things, they're actually upset about something deeper and bigger. They're just not willing to admit it. And they're using the small things as distractions to keep them from looking at the reason they are actually upset deep down. You understand that? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
All right.
Maybe. Yes.
Are you simply saying then that you find that you are vibrationally incompatible with your father at this moment and don't necessarily need to experience that negative energy in your life, and that's why you're not talking? Is that what you're saying? Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, so then you've made a decision to recognize that you may not necessarily be vibrationally compatible right now. Now, if you are excited to communicate with him, regardless of whether he wishes to communicate with you, there are certainly many other ways you can do it. You can send letters and emails and so on and so forth. And you can allow yourself to experience the joy of doing that, even if he chooses not to respond, yes?
Yes.
Well, if that's something that you prefer to do, you can do it. If you don't, then that's fine. But if you have decided that it is really your preference, your highest excitement, not to necessarily communicate with someone who chooses to be negative all the time, then that's your right to do so.
Right.
And you are then demonstrating to him the consequences of the choices that he is making, because if he is choosing to be vibrationally incompatible with you, then communication doesn't occur between you. And that's the consequences of the choice that he's making.
Right.
You have to show people what the consequences are of the choices that they make relative to you, so that you can be authentic with them, so they will know who they're actually in a relationship with. Because if you're just pretending to be who you're not, then they're not in a relationship with you anyway. So what difference does it make whether it is literal or metaphorical? Because if you're not you, they're not in a relationship with you. So if you are authentically you, at least they are in some form of relationship with the real you, even if they choose not to really act on it so much. At least you're being authentic and giving them an opportunity, if they wish to form a stronger relationship with you, to choose to do so. But it doesn't mean they have to. You have to be willing to allow him to choose what he wishes to choose, just as you want him to allow you to choose what you prefer to choose. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Is this all right? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Is this helping?
Very.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
Thank you. Oh, closer, sure. So I want to start off with a sharing
Oh,
of something
all right.
I learned from you.
All right.
I'm a dentist, and my mom's a dentist too, and I was working in her office, and And she has this one unit where the rheostat, you know that thing you press with your foot to make the
All right, we understand the mechanism you are
Right.
describing.
And it would, when you would turn it on, it would not shut off.
Yes.
So I'd be inside a patient's mouth, and this 400,000 RPM thing is kind of running amok, and you have to kind of kick it to get it to stop. And
How
so,
exciting.
well, that's
How
what I'm getting
unexpected.
at. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. So it would make me very kind of anxious and even a bit angry.
Oh.
And then in the middle, as I'm doing this,
Yes.
I thought, well, you know, nothing, as you said, has any intrinsic meaning to it. And so I figured, well, I could choose to think of this any which way I want then.
Yes.
So I stopped and I said, you know, this rheostat has cruise control.
Yes.
And so I just pressed it, and it was much more relaxing to my foot to just kind of put my foot to the side.
All right.
And I felt this rush of energy
Yes.
that was no longer like fearful kind of energy. It was much more kind of joy.
Congratulations.
And I thank you for that. That was a great kind of experience for me. So I'm applying that to everything I can and sharing it with as
all
many
right.
people as I can.
Then you are now in alignment and no longer experiencing that you've bitten off more than you can chew.
Thank you for the pun.
All right, you're welcome.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about
Yes.
is, so I have a really strong affinity about being a content
Wait a
specialist.
minute. Wait a minute.
Yes?
That did not get the groan it really deserved.
What?
Come on. Bitten off more than you can chew. Oh. Thank you. We know a bad pun when we hear one,
All right. We got plenty of them, too.
and it's fun to groan at them. That's what they're for.
So,
Yeah.
again, having this strong affinity to being a contact specialist, I love your stories, your shares about what you've learned from other civilizations, like with
Yes.
the Thuk and et cetera. And I'm wondering if you have some more that you can share with me.
Do you remember the most recent one we talked about in the Inside Out universe? Because we're still very
Yes.
deeply exploring
yes.
that.
Yes, exactly. So others like that.
Nope. Not at this timing.
Okay.
It's not appropriate for this moment, but there are others we will share upcoming.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I love you.
Thank you. Our love to you as well.
Cheers.
Hi, Bashar.
Andy, you good day.
So my latest excitement and something that I resonate with a lot is
Yes.
a book that's come out called The Soul's Plan,
The soul's plan.
and it talks about pre-birth planning.
Pre-birth planning. Yes.
And I'm fascinated with this idea, but it also causes me a lot of anxiety.
I beg your pardon. Would you like to rephrase that?
I'm excited about this idea.
And sometimes you choose to buy into negative definitions that generate anxiety within you.
Yes.
It doesn't cause anything.
Yes. I
All right.
choose to be anxious about.
Thank you for your honesty. Now that you are willing to be responsible for what you are experiencing, you are empowered to do something about it, because you can't change what you're not willing to own.
Yes.
Because if you're saying, well, the book did this to me, what are you going to do? Tear the book to pieces? You're still going to be anxious. But if you own it, you can change it.
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
And so,
And so I get anxious. I choose to be anxious about certain ideas
such
related
as?
to whether I have the ability to create certain things, or whether they've already been, whether my highest self has already chosen them before I've.
Who cares? Every single appointment that has already been made will play out in the proper timing that it needs to. Why do you have to know when that might be, as long as you trust that it will happen when it needs to? You can't miss the appointments that have been made, except if you spend your time and energy worrying if you will miss the appointments that you've been made. That's the only way to miss the appointments. If you don't worry you'll miss them, you can't miss them.
Okay.
Does that help?
That helps.
All right, but not enough.
I will.
What are you still anxious about?
Sometimes I think about this in terms of my clients that I help, who I'm trying to empower to realize that they have the ability to heal themselves.
And you also have this power for yourself?
Yes.
All right.
And in the book, they just have a lot of stories about people who like choose certain things, including illnesses, before they
Yes.
come in to experience a certain thing.
Yes.
So
So, what are you anxious about?
whether I'll be able to help.
Of course you can help.
Okay.
Did you yourself not hear yourself say that they actually heal themselves?
Yes.
Well, then all you need to do is give off the vibration of your intention to help and give off the vibration that you believe best represents their healed state, but they still have to match the frequency in order to experience the healing, don't they?
Yes.
And what if someone comes in with an absolute belief that they cannot be healed? Won't you allow them to have that manifestation of not being healed as what they wished to have? Being the compassionate healer that you wish to be? Will you not allow them their choices? Or you will insist that they must be healed?
I will allow them their
Then
choices.
what's your worry? Because you know that you are doing the best you can to provide an atmosphere and an environment that they can choose to match that will be representative of the healed state. And simultaneously, the energy you're giving off is so unconditionally supportive and loving that you will even allow them to choose not to be healed. That's how much loving support you are giving off. Therefore, you will have done everything you could possibly do. Yes?
Yes.
And that's all you can do. So if you're doing all you can do, what is there to be anxious about?
I agree.
Thank you. Does this help you?
It does.
Anything else?
Yes.
Yes.
There's another new energy healing modality that I'm working with and I'm really excited about.
All right, a permission slip.
A permission slip.
Which is what?
It's called the emotion code, and it helps remove sort of trapped emotions that people have in their
There's
body.
really no such thing as trapped emotions.
Okay.
But there are definitions that may make it appear so.
Okay.
Understand the profound difference between those two statements?
Can you expand
There
on
is no such thing as trapped emotions, but there are definitions that may make it appear so. That statement right there is freeing, because you know there are no such things as true trapped emotions. So you're already starting ahead of the game by knowing that the only way someone could experience it as if there are trapped emotions is if they have a definition that makes it appear so, and then you know exactly what to work with, that definition that makes it appear so. Because once they find that definition and identify it and let it go, they will no longer feel emotionally trapped. That's how it works. You have discovered the mechanism itself that needs to be dealt with that will allow for a change in experience. How freeing is that? The correct definition is a description of the actual mechanism you need to work with. The correct definition is actually a description of the mechanism you need to work with. Does that help?
It does.
But
I'm going to process that because I want to know it and not just know it intellectually. So
All right.
I'm going to work with that.
all right.
There's a specific type of thing called a heart wall. I know you've spoken before about how our hearts are connected.
Yes.
Does that concept, and I may be defining it incorrectly, but the process of removing someone's heart wall that's keeping them from energetically like connecting with other people.
Excuse me one moment, I'm laughing. All right. By the way,
Yes.
if you're going to buy into the definition and concept of such a heart wall, I just showed you how to dissolve it.
Okay.
Laughter. Get them to laugh, it'll dissolve. And it will show itself for the smoke and mirrors that it is. Yes?
Yes.
Does this help?
It does.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bashar.
Thank you for the heart to heart.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Hi. I wanted to ask about, I've been working with the mirror work, sort of.
The mirror.
Well,
Are you
I
talking
have
about
been-
the psychomantium?
I was
Or are
doing,
you talking about the exercise we gave you at the beginning?
I was doing the psychomantium, but recently, over this last week, I've
Yes.
been doing something similar to, well, really just staring
Yes.
into my eyes.
All right. Then you
But-
have a good head start on the permission slip that we gave you tonight.
Yeah, and I just have a question. See,
Oh, all
I wear
right. I knew there was
contacts.
one in there somewhere.
So I'm not sure if I'm seeing things, but I know that,
Well, of course you're seeing
well,
things.
yeah.
But it depends upon what you mean by seeing. Are you saying, are you crazy? Of course you are.
Yeah, I know I'm crazy, but,
All right.
you know,
But crazy in a good way.
yeah.
Well, then
Yeah,
the
that's
things
the
that you
thing.
see when you're crazy in a good way are crazy good.
That's probably why I keep doing it. But it's sort of like, well, sometimes as I'm looking, like,
Yes.
my vision, it can get like real dark.
Yes.
And after it gets dark, it's like my face, I don't know, my appearance change. It's like, I don't know, it's
Yes.
like some parts of my face become highlighted, and then
Yes.
like sometimes my
all right,
eyes
all right,
seems
all
different.
right. I'll give you a little bit more background on why this technique is the way it is designed to be. Remember that when we're talking about permission slips, there are many different forms of permission slips, and one of the strongest ones that many of you gravitate to are what are called tarot cards, or other things that have imagery on them that you can learn to read. Remember that you're a multidimensional being. When you stare into the mirror, you're starting to create your image in the form of a tarot card of you and all the multidimensional aspects of your greater being. So from time to time, just as people who read tarot cards say, when they look at a picture, sometimes one thing will stand out that tells them what to say. And when they look at the same card another time, another thing will stand out from the very same card that will tell them what to say. Sometimes things stand out they actually swear they never saw before on that card, and it will tell them what to say. You're turning your own image into a tarot card in this technique, and are more capable of seeing all the different dimensions of the different people that may be part of the same oversoul that you are an extension from, tapping into the greater being that you are. And so of course it's natural that from time to time you might see your shape change to take on the qualities of other aspects of the greater being of which you are a part.
Okay.
Does that help?
That does help. And I did feel that that it was part of me. Like, it was still my reflection, of course, everything
Yes, but it's also a bigger reflection of more of you.
is. Okay.
So in other words, it's giving you a little tiny bit of an ability to have a little tiny glimpse of what the oversoul sees when it sees all of its projections at once. But it's being given to you in a way you can handle within your linear space-time frame of reference. Okay. A little bit here and a little bit there. Don't be, as you say, freaked out if suddenly you actually begin to see more than one face at a time.
Okay.
That might be a natural extension of how you might use this permission slip. Doesn't mean it has to happen for everyone that way. You'll all have your own unique way of expressing the idea of a reflection of more of you. But nevertheless, that might be one of the ways in which some of you will experience more awareness of more of yourself.
Okay.
Does this help?
That does help. Also,
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
I know.
Who's the fairest of us all? We all are!
And then there's well, sometimes, like, if I'm looking directly,
Yes.
and I sort of get the attention, sometimes it looks like my eyes don't move.
Yes.
And then sometimes
Yes.
it seems like my hand moves, or
Yes.
like in the corner of my eye, my mouth will be moving. But
What's different about what you're saying than what I already told you?
well, I remember the last time we had a conversation when I was up here talking, and
Yes.
you mentioned spiritual cookies.
Yes.
And I don't know, I feel, I guess, impatient because
Why are you impatient? That means you're not living in the present. You're not enjoying what is in front of you. You're in a rush to get somewhere else. You don't actually need patience if you're living in the moment And if you don't need patience, you will never be impatient. By enjoying everything that happens because you know whatever's happening needs to be happening and extract the most from it that you can, then you won't need to be patient. And if you don't need to be patient, you won't experience impatience. Impatience is trying to be somewhere you're not.
Yes.
Well, you can't be somewhere you're not. You can pretend to be somewhere you're not, but you can't actually be somewhere you're not. So the sooner you realize there's nowhere else you can be but here and now, and sooner you realize that everything that happens here and now has a purpose to serve you, and extract from it what that purpose is, what that reflection's about, then when you use that moment up for what it is, that's when the moment can present something new to you. But the paradox is that the longer you refuse to exist in the moment, the longer it takes to experience the next moment. You're the one slowing it down and creating the need for patience, which then generates impatience by not living in the moment and being okay with whatever's going on in the moment.
Okay.
Which is another way of saying you don't trust the way your life unfolds. Understand?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
Did that open your eyes?
Yes, it did.
All right. Then when you look in the mirror next time, look with your new eyes. All right?
Thank you.
And you will see something different. Thank you.
Thank you.